Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. And this is my proposal, the effects of using translanguaging methods in speaking skill for MOHD for Form 6 students. And my name is Muhammad KAMARUZAMAN Nooruldin uh, from UITM, Kelantan. My supervisors are Dr. Warid bin Mihad and my co-supervisor is Dr. Nur Suryani binti Awal. Basically, language practices involving more than one language, we call it as translanguaging, which is receive an increasing amount of attention from different scholars around the world, especially in the educational context. And from the concept of bilinguals, whereby it utilizes their entire linguistic repertoire, rather than treating language as a separate entities. And then translanguaging in SL classroom has been found to enhance teacher students communications, students engagement, and overall understanding of lesson materials. And translanguaging also challenges traditional views of language separations and advocates for a more holistic approach to language use. And relating to the Kelantanese math students now on, so the research aims to explore how the use of translanguaging materials in the Malaysian classrooms affect students' speaking skill among Kelantanese math students. Based on these significance that I had added, first would be their specific dialect and the cultural nuances may impact their language acquisition and speaking skills in the test. I mean, web test. And by focusing on this group, the research can address and potentially offer insight into overcoming these challenges through the use of translanguage materials. And research also allows for the development of talent inventions and teaching strategies that cater to their specific needs and linguistic background and offers an opportunity to contribute to existing body of knowledge regarding language learning challenges in specific regions or communities, providing insight that can benefit both educators and also policymakers. And I highlighted here problem statements, RO, RQ, and also hypothesis, whereby mostly for the first problem statements, we students often face problems in lack of motivation, and it is caused by the lack of knowledge of grammar and also vocabulary. And then the current methods of preparing for the MOOC speaking test may not be effectively in motivating for Form 6 students, particularly in the context of linguistic and cultural diversity in Kelantan. And also I provide here there RO as well as the RQ to determine the effectiveness of translanguaging approaches in motivating students when preparing for the MOOC speaking test. And for the second problem statement, which is low content knowledge regarding what causes the problem of students' failure in understanding the learning content given by the teacher, as well as traditional teaching methods may not be adequately enhancing the content knowledge of Form 6 students preparing for the math speaking test. And then RO will be the to assess the impact of translanguaging approaches on students' content knowledge when preparing for the math speaking test. Um, and let's look at for the next problem statement, which the problems of students' lack of understanding in the theoretical and practical aspect of the English language form WACT, and the implementation of translanguage in Malaysia encounters challenges despite its potential benefit in language education. And will be to determine the correlation between the use of translanguaging approaches on students' motivation and content knowledge and their speaking test achievement. And for fourth problem statement, in previous studies, it was found that there is a lack of material regarding the theoretical framework and also uh, conceptual framework regarding the effectiveness regarding the effective English teaching methods in MOHD speaking test, whereby I highlighted there for RO to understand students' perceptions of the use of translanguaging approaches as a part of MOHD speaking test preparation. Okay, for the concept, for the literature review, I'm going to highlight on the translanguaging itself, students' motivations, as well as the content knowledge, whereby some concept will be spontaneous and pedagogical translanguaging, and also code switching. I will compare these two terms, translanguaging in English as second language, effect of translanguaging on Malaysia as a second language learners translate language skill mastery, and then translanguaging enhances English speaking and listening skills. Okay. Some of the theories also I'm going to highlight afterwards. For example, effective filter hypothesis, Vygotsky social cultural theory, and also CUP by Cummings 2000. And I also try to do the summary of review literature, uh, whereby I'm going to analyze the gap of the findings. For example, I'm going to engage with the use of translanguaging in teaching English to non-speakers, students' motivation using translanguaging methods among ESL learners, and also development of content knowledge using translanguaging methods among ESL learners. Okay, meanwhile, for the theoretical framework, I'm going to engage with the study from the CUP, social cultural theory, and also effective filter hypothesis. And for the conceptual framework, I'm going to engage with the dependent variables, which is students' achievement, and independent variable would be the motivation and content knowledge. Intervening variable would be translanguaging. And this is derived from the QUP by Cummings 2000, also social cultural theory by Vygotsky. Okay, there's many significance of the research to the school, to the BPD, JPN, and also Ministry of Education. In terms of scope and limitations, yeah, we have limitations in terms of data collections, number of students, variables, and also methodological theory and also literature. And for the methodology, I'm going to use mixed method explanatory, whereby I would like to deal with the quasi experiment, and the research instrument would be SPSS 29. Of course, this is preface sampling, non-profitability, and for data collections, I'm going to use speaking proficiency tests, questionnaires, basically on the motivation, content knowledge tests, interviews, focus groups. And in terms of validity and reliability, I'm going to engage with the expert check, member check, number of value, and also concapa and triangulation data. And for the data analysis, I'm going to use t-tests, whereby I'm going to touch on independent sample t-tests and paired sample t-tests. For uncover analysis of covariance, I'm going to use it to compare post-intervention and score between the experimental and also control group, adjusting for pre-intervention scores. And of course, for the correlation analysis, I'm going to explore the relationship between the use of translanguaging materials and students' motivations, content knowledge, and also MOHD speaking test achievement. And in correlation analysis also, I'm going to deal with the multiple regression analysis, whereby I'm going to determine the predictive power of translanguaging materials on students' outcomes, controlling for other variables. And of course, for the qualitative analysis, I'm going to use the thematic analysis, whereby I'm going to transcribe and quote from the interview and also focus group. In terms of pilot study, I'm going to use 10 to 15 students from the experimental groups. And talking about the population and research sampling, I'm going to use 63 experimental cohort and also 63 for the control cohort. And population will be the math student from form form 6 in form 6 student in Kelantan. Um, and for the qualitative uh, interview, I'm going to use 10 to 15 students from our experimental group. And for the focus group, I'm going to 6 students in a group, which means to say 2 to 3 groups. And in terms of instrument building for the quantitative, I'm going to use speaking proficiency tests, questionnaires on motivation, and content knowledge. Meanwhile, for qualitative, I'm going to use interview and focus group questions, whereby I'm going to do with the semi-structured interview questions, whereby I'm going to formulate open-ended questions which explore students' perceptions, experiences, and attitudes. And like I said just now, I'm going to conduct a pilot testing. And of course, in terms of procedures in data collections, I'm going to gain the permission from the KPM or MOE, and also data gain from the face-to-face and online information. I think that's all. Thank you.